Negotiation. 10 top tips to achieving great engagement outcomes. 1. What good negotiation is not. When it comes to audit engagements and agreeing outcomes with stakeholders, let's agree what good negotiation is not. Negotiations shouldn't be competitive, thinking about what you can get, thinking about how you can win. This is known as distributive strategy or dividing the pie. You may feel you've won, but you may have left the other parties feeling aggrieved and demotivated from making the changes you feel are needed. 2. Don't divide, instead share and resolve. So let's embrace a more productive approach, an integrative strategy that could seek a win-win outcome by enlarging the pie through collaboration, cooperation, and identifying mutually beneficial outcomes. The solutions required become jointly owned, and success is a shared goal. 3. Forget about barter, bargain, and trade. Bartering involves trade-offs, and bargaining assumes a bottom line, outcomes that have a level of priority. Trade may involve concession, but usually with conditions attached. Couldn't more be achieved by information sharing and celebrating good practice? A fair and transparent approach will seek to identify solutions that everybody works on. We want a collaborative effort to develop ideas. 4. It's about common ground. Your interests probably overlap, even though your current position may appear separate, even miles apart. It's important to appreciate that your position, what you want, is different to your interest, why you want it. There can be significant crossover between parties amongst underlying interests. Examining your interests is more likely to highlight areas of agreement that can be built upon. 5. Leave behind the blame game. It's so easy to fall into the trap of negative language that suggests blame when things aren't working well. Inadequate, incomplete, or insufficient. Recognize and celebrate successes and use these as a basis for suggesting change and improvements. Ask questions that naturally develop responsibilities such as do you think or can we do? 6. Listen more than you speak. Listen actively. Encourage speakers to express themselves. The power of listening should never be underestimated. Reflect before you make a response. Gather and assess information. Understand the parties' positions and interests. This is both about what people say and how they say it, and it means you can link all the strands of negotiation together and be well informed. 7. Prepare. Prepare your objectives. What do you want to achieve? Setting out clear objectives will enable you to focus your negotiations and form your success criteria. Separate out objectives into 3 areas: must, the objectives that have to be achieved, or the bottom line. What you'd intend, the objectives you have in mind to be your target, what you're aiming for. What you'd like, the objectives that would be nice to achieve, or the ideal outcome. But this should not encourage a combative approach. You need to then consider the perspective of the people you are negotiating with, their motivations and objectives, and their sensitivities. If you can be well informed in advance as to how options for collaboration might present themselves, then all the better. 8. Discuss. Now we get into actual negotiation with the other parties, and your first milepost is to establish trust and collaboration. Understand each party's issues and perceptions. Clarify at every opportunity. Don't assume you know all the facts. 9. Propose. Focus in on and continually clarify the possible options and solutions to issues where there is already agreement. Set the easy wins in stone and build on the established common ground. Recommend and get feedback. Challenge and accommodate. Query and clarify the relative strengths and weaknesses of joint proposals. 10. Decide. Agree the final actions from a range of proposals that are now on the table. Jointly reflect on the proposals and commit to outcomes that all parties will make happen. Agreements should be specific, fair, comprehensive, and unconditional. Use will and avoid if. Now your agreements have a much better chance of being seen through.